Cheap box. I guess that's why it's recyclable. Anyway. Oh, hey guys. Didn't notice you standing there. You startled me a little bit. Got that heart rate going. I see you're checking out the 56. We've got it off the frame table, off the jigs, and sitting on its own wheels. Pretty cool, eh? I think so. Quite a leap forward. I can just see your faces, you know, through that little lens there. It's like, whoa, Nick, she's sitting really high. Yes, she is. And there's a reason for that. If you heard the wind a couple of seconds ago, we live in Canada and it snows here year round, like 3 feet of snow all the time. And we need to get this car through the snow drifts. Not really. The suspension of the car is stock. We haven't done anything with it just yet. But what we have done is shaved a lot of weight off the frame, off the body, and frankly, there's no doors, there's no glass, there's no anything, so it is going to sit high. We'll tackle that later. What I was just doing though is cleaning up this bay, just making some room, because we're going to shake things up today. Yeah, I'm going to put that on hold for a little bit.
Hey guys, this is our new project. It's a 1974 International 674 diesel with a whopping 60 horsepower.
60 horsepower. 60 horsepower.
And what we're looking at is probably chopping the top a bit.
Section the hood, get that down a little bit,
That would be
streamline
nice.
it.
A set of chrome rims would look
That would
nice.
set it off really well.
Yeah.
How about exhaust tacks?
Oh, hey.
Chrome exhaust tacks.
5-inch, yeah. Install a self-leveling air ride cab.
Interior's kind of ratty, that seat. Maybe do something
Yeah.
about that.
We can add air conditioning in there
Air
too.
conditioning, tuck and roll interior.
Stereo system.
Yeah.
But today, we're going to start off with a brand new clutch.
High performance flavor. Check out this baby. Came all the way from Binbrook, Ontario. 6 pads, both sides. This is really going to pull some stumps now.
And a few wheelies maybe too.
More than likely, yeah. Welcome to Envision Prototypes. That's my dad Vic. I'm Nick, and normally we don't work on farm tractors. So if you're not really into this, tune in next week when we get back onto the Chrysler. As for this machine, we're going to need it for a potential project coming in.
Yeah, if you're interested, stay tuned and we'll take you through the steps involved. We'll actually have to split this tractor in half, where the front half, the engine, everything will be rolled ahead, allowing us a space in between to get at the clutch. Once we've replaced the clutch, everything will be rolled back together, bolted together.
Here we go, guys. First thing we got to do is pull the sheet metal off the front, get the hood off. Down here we've got a series of bolts that hold the towers to the chassis of the tractor. This tractor doesn't have a frame on it. It bolts directly to the housings of the transmission, engine, and somewhere in here there's the area where we have to split it, which means we have to disconnect some hydraulic lines, fuel line. Let's turn that off. Down in here, valve. This machine's got a saddle tank for a fuel tank. I'll show you that in a second. So we got one side there with a connection between the two. Custom fenders. I've seen better days. And on this side here, same thing. We've got these bolts that have to come out. We need to support the transmission behind where it splits, as well as at the front here. We either put a jack underneath or use a chain fall, which is the reason why we have it here. Pick this front section up with chain fall so we can roll it forward. Exhaust has to be disconnected, and there's heating lines that go up into the cab. I think my dad's turned that off already.
Okay, we've got to drop the battery power. And then we'll disconnect the starter. These pins can be pulled. This will actually come off. The tower will move ahead once we undo all those bolts.
Tower won't fall down because it's bolted to the front here.
That's right.
We'll just leave that alone.
Yeah. So this whole thing will move ahead, the hydraulics, everything. The hydraulics are split on the other side.
Right in here. Everything is very compact.
I think we can split the hydraulics right here.
Oh, that'd be easier. Yes.
Yeah, just 2 lines there. And okay, now there's something that's been done since. These 2 hydraulic lines here. Yeah, we will have to split them right.
That's why the one has a zip tie on it to identify it.
Yeah, right there and there.
And the exhaust drops down, right?
Yeah, the exhaust will drop.
We probably need
Likewise here, we pull the pin, take that out.
Okay.
Okay, and
Those big bolts up there.
yeah, right up in there, that one there.
Get the compressor fired up. We're going to need a new muffler.
Yeah, it's scheduled for a new muffler. We'll measure that up, or for that matter, take it off and run in and get one.
We're not going to spend too much time, I guess, explaining things until we really get into it. Right now it's major disassembly. We want to get this done as quickly as possible because we have to get back onto this old girl. They called for more snow.
Now what we're doing here is we're putting a spreader between the 2 towers because the towers are not bolted to the frame, they're actually bolted at the front of the engine. And when I pick that up, it's going to pull the towers in, could damage it. So by putting the spreader in, it'll pick it up evenly. Now we're not going to pick it up much. Just take the load off the. That's it. Let's check and see what else needs to be disconnected. Okay, the lines are disconnected on the firewall, so they should move ahead freely to the front. Oh, we've got 2 more lines here. Yeah, they have to be also taken apart. Might have to heat that up. The exhaust pipe.
Okay, so we're making pretty good headway. Got the towers supported. Need to disconnect the throttle. This should be okay. You should have enough stretch or lengthness to stretch. The fun part right now is getting to these bolts up in here to separate the transmission from the bell housing. I believe the starter stays behind. There's a series of bolts up under here that we need to undo, as well as the other side. That one on top, oh I see, you just pull the lines, these two hydraulic hoses for the cylinder, pulled back on them so that we have enough stretch on the other side. And like I said, we should be close. We keep going.
These two lines here,
Okay.
there's a clip that's holding to the block,
Okay.
and there's a clip that's holding them to the tower.
Oh yes. Okay.
No, they're free.
Okay.
Hang on, just that one. Just undo that clip there. Yeah, because as long as they're away from the engine,
Should be okay.
yeah, they're gonna stay behind. Now, these lines here are gonna move ahead.
Yeah.
I had to disconnect the top two also. So these two are disconnected. And those two in behind are disconnected also.
There's a bolt up here somewhere that needs to come out.
Yeah.
Right? I can't even see. Right there.
Yeah, there's two of them.
Well, I got the other side. There's one here now.
Yeah, okay.
It's 3/4 inch. I don't want to get hydraulic fluid all over you guys, so get your back on the tripod. Okay. Hydraulic fluid. Okay, that's two. I'll disconnect the throttle. Yeah. Ah, more water. Yeah. Here.
Where are you?
I got that in there.
Ooh.
Well, that's the only way I could reach the ones on the driver's side. Okay, throttle's disconnected. Starter's disconnected. Fuel disconnected. Sometimes you might run into a situation where you just don't have enough pull to break a bolt loose with one wrench. A little trick you can do is this. Slip another wrench on and you've just extended your lever. So there's another bolt here. There should be one up in there. And once we get that out, two more on the bottom, and we should be able to pull it apart. One second. There's a plug right there. Okay, go ahead. Up you go. Okay. You're there.
Okay.
Yep. Checking for more bolts up on top. I don't see anything, just two on the side there. And the ones on the bottom.
Yeah.
Bring you guys in, show you what's going on. See the separation between the flanges? That's what we're after. Right there. We're gonna rock the wheels ahead a little bit. It's moving. I don't have the bottom bolts out all the way. That one there, it's still in, as well as the one on the other side.
Can you get a bar or chisel?
Looking between the tower and the cab, you can see the separation in the flange there as well, I think.
You can
Kind of.
pry a little bit.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna undo these bolts. Hold up a second. Okay, that one's loose. I'm taking it right out.
Yep.
There's one on your side, has to come out. Yeah, this one's still tight. I can hear things moving. Nope, not quite. Maybe pick up the jack a little bit. Okay, I've got the bolt out. Sorry guys, you got an exhaust pipe there anyway.
How's that?
Hard to bend, good. Yeah, hard to bend down. And we got separation here. You see that? The top looks tight. Looking between the two.
So if I pick it up a little bit, wash it open.
Yeah, let me get a light. I got one right here, there. So there you go, pick it up. Nope, something's holding it. Gonna get you guys right in here where you can peek in between and let us know what's going on. I see the flywheel. Top still seems tight. Nothing's bolted. There it goes. There it goes. The back moved a little bit.
Now, as you can see, we've separated the housing of the transmission to the flange of the engine by about 7 inches. What it's done is given us room to get in to undo the bolts that hold that pressure plate. Once we remove the pressure plate, the clutch that sits behind it will come out, and that'll expose the bolts for the flywheel. Now, we'll undo the bolts for the flywheel and lower it down using a jack because that thing is awfully heavy. We'll lower that flywheel down and out, and that flywheel will have to be sent into a machine shop and resurfaced, remachined.
Okay, so I'm not quite sure how to get you guys in there while I'm in here. It's pretty tight. So we're just gonna do it this way. If we try and slide this apart anymore, we are gonna have to disconnect a lot of lines.
You can rotate it to where you're comfortable to crank it, and then I'll hold it in that position.
There it goes.
Okay.
Okay, pressure plate is out. So there we go, one pressure plate. Clutch.
I still feel pads on the clutch.
Yeah. It's stuck in there.
I guess there's enough crud that it flew against the walls.
There it goes. Got it.
We finally got them out. That's the pressure plate. It's, how would you say, the pad area is smooth, but where the rivets are, it's down to the rivets, and the rivets actually wore a groove in there. And it's overheated, so there are cracks in them, every so far.
It's funny how it's opposite
Yeah.
where these...
So the clutch itself is right down to the metal. You can see the metal shining through
The springs too.
here, and it actually went down to the springs. I've never seen one that bad. And likewise here, that's what made the groove in the pressure plate, right there. So you got mileage out of this one.
Well, the
Mind
tractor,
you,
it's got 7,000 hours on
Yeah,
it.
so yeah, it's over 7, closing in on 8,000.
8,000,
That's pretty
yeah.
good.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Unless somebody's done something in between when we got it, but
Yeah. In high gear, with this clutch, the tractor didn't move at all. So I had to drop it to a lower gear where there was better mechanical advantage, and that's what got me into the shop. There is a difference between one side and the other side of the clutch. So you can see that the profile here is lower, profile on this one is higher. So there is a direction that they have to go in. And if you look at the new one, there's the higher profile there.
so that goes into the pressure plate side.
And this is the lower profile. And it even says FW, and that would be flywheel.
Featherweight.
So it would go in there that way.
The
So-
flywheel's right here, yeah.
Yeah, so that would be like that. So this would be up against the flywheel. So now what we have to do is, because the flywheel has worn just as much as the pressure plate has worn, therefore the hole that this sits in, that depth has increased. It's gone larger. So therefore the springs that tighten against the clutch aren't doing their job because the clutch is out of reach. So what we do is we send the flywheel in, and the machinist will resurface the flywheel part of where the clutch rides, and then move up and take down the shoulder that the pressure plate sits on, so that the space between this and that shoulder is 1.443 inches precisely. And that'll be the precise exact setting for that clutch. So our next step is to take the flywheel out, and we'll take it into the machine shop and have it turned.
All right, 3/4 inch socket, flex bar, followed by a ratchet, a length of rope, and a jack to get that flywheel out. It's pretty tricky, especially when you're working with a 7-inch space. But we've done it. There's a dowel pin right there that we have to slide it off of. Basically got the 6 bolts out, slid it back, and dropped it down. And once we pull it out, we'll probably leave it on the floor and inspect it on the floor. Because to lift that thing up on the table, we ain't doing it. Behold, the flywheel.
This is where we're at. We got the flywheel out, and as you can see, it looks kind of shiny and nice, worn down quite evenly, but there are hairline cracks in it. Yeah, there's hairline cracks up in here.
All the way around.
Yeah. So, okay, they're going to machine this surface down, but I don't know if they'll get rid of those hairline cracks. They would normally clean this up nice, and then they would have to machine this surface down so that this distance from here down to here is 1.443 inches. So that way it's the proper space for those springs on the back of the pressure plate to do their job. Oh yeah, it actually came down and touched the bolt. I guess that's what took those springs out. You see the wear on those springs? I guess that's where that bolt was. So we've really got our mileage out of this clutch.
We have a pressure plate, we've got a clutch,
Yeah.
but we waited to see what the condition of this flywheel was in before we made the decision on this, because this is a big ticket item.
That's right. So
When you want high performance, you got to pay.
that's right. So you can get the flywheel without the ring gear. There's nothing wrong with the ring gear.
That's the part that your starter engages with,
Yeah.
for those that don't know. I know you guys know, but
That's, how would you say, warmed up and put on there. And then when it cools, it shrinks, and that's what holds it on. So that's,
so this isn't a job that we can button up tonight. It'll be a few days to either get the new flywheel in or get that analyzed
We've got some heavy work for it.
We do, and she doesn't look too happy right now, but it wasn't too bad. A little bit tricky because on this side we have a little bit of flex in those lines, things that move around, the rubber lines, the hoses, the fuel line we disconnected, the cables, all that's good over here, but where we ran into a bit of issue was over here, where we have all these steel hydraulic lines. So that was causing a bit of a nuisance to separate. Not so much back there, but down and through here. You see how they curve in? They actually went in behind that bell housing flange there. You see the starter down in the bottom. So close to 8,000 hours. It was time.
It's possible someone could have changed it, but judging from the tractor, it's never been apart.
All right, guys, well, we got the flywheel back. They managed to salvage the one we had. They resurfaced it, took out those little stress cracks from the heat, and it's all good. And it's not like we're gonna be dropping the clutch at 6,000 RPM. So this is gonna last the life of the tractor. So nice and clean. We're gonna put a new pilot bearing in. Those are all prepped. And right now we're working on a dowel, an alignment dowel, to center the clutch within the pilot bearing so it can help us assemble this whole unit up inside. As you can see, we have those two splines that we need to match up with the clutch. On this side, we'll have to take and jack that flywheel up into place and align it with that dowel there. Get the bolts in, and that'll be stage one. Then the clutch goes in, align that, and then the pressure plate. Bolt that on. And then we can slide the two sections of the tractor back together.
What we have here is, when you purchase a kit, a pressure plate clutch, it comes with a pilot bearing, which goes into the flywheel, which is a good time to replace it because the old one's got so many hours on it already. And this is the release bearing that pushes down on the pressure plate when you push your clutch down. So that's the two items there. Now what we're going to do is open this up. We'll check it. That feels like it's the correct bearing there. Now what we've done is we've made up an aligning tool, so to speak. Actually it's a socket that's got a step down at the end, and we've made it so that it will fit perfectly into the bearing. So there's no slop. And it fits perfectly into the clutch plate. The way it's going to work is once the flywheel's in the tractor,
The bearings in.
the bearings in, and as the pressure plate is just started on its mounting bolts, with the clutch still loose, you can slide this in and line it up so that it's perfectly held in place, and then tighten that down. Once it's tightened down, you can pull this out and then bring the tractor together, and by rights, hopefully that spline will go in perfectly.
Down a little bit. Okay, go ahead. The hook got caught. Okay, let me get rid of the jack. Oh, easy, easy, easy. You got about 3 inches to go. I gotta pull. Okay, go ahead. 1 second. The cold chisel slipped out.
Oh,
Just it gave him a little more room. All right, up you go. We're very close. Up you go a little bit. Stop, stop. I need to wiggle a little bit. Okay, you got to go up half an inch maybe. Oh, right there. Something, I think you're a little bit high. Okay, you're too low now. Easy. Right there. Got it. So we just slipped the flywheel over the dowel pin and got the first bolt in. Now, you might need to lower it just a little bit. Nope, I got the other bolt in. Okay, we're good. See, you gotta use your brain, like the one over there. I wanted to lift this into place by hand. We got the Health Queen out. If you guys have been watching our videos, you know what that's all about. And this flywheel came in at 103 pounds prior to machining. Okay, you can let go on the chain. Let go of the chain, I should say. Okay. We are now, almost now, at the wrench pulling stage. Just doing up the flywheel bolts. And we're going to torque them to 95 foot-pounds. Okay. Oh. Okay, I'm just going to do a little bit of a crisscross pattern here. Pull everything down nice.
let me get another big screwdriver in there. I don't like this bar.
Okay, go ahead. Yeah.
It's not seating into the feet properly.
Yeah.
I think
Well, I'm not
something that is engaging better.
quite there yet.
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Now what I'm doing on this side is I've put in a bolt into one of the holes in the back of the engine so that I can block the flywheel from running away every time Nick pulls on that torque wrench. So I've got a screwdriver into the ring gear teeth and I'm locking it against just a bolt stuck to a hole in the bell housing bolt pattern.
Okay. Those teeth can become quite useful when unseizing an engine too. If you guys check out the Chrysler video, we unseized that engine using a screwdriver and the flywheel ring gear. Check it, there'll be a card up above. Go ahead and check it out after you're done watching this video. Okay, here we go. We're gonna start torquing. 1, 2, 3, 3. 4. 5. 6. 7, we're there. Okay, I'm gonna go one more time around. 1, 2, 3, 4. Come on. A little tricky to get in there. Okay.
Oh. Try again.
Good. Okay.
Okay.
All done.
Take a break.
Yeah. Now that the flywheel's in, we've got to change out the.
Well, now you can pull the release bearing out. You got to undo the linkage for the release bearing fork. What is that? A cotter pin on that side?
I gotta see. Okay, cotter pin out.
Pin out. Okay, now does that swing far enough ahead? Should be able to disengage that fork from the yoke.
Oh yes, I see it. Yep. Got it.
Okay.
Okay, there we have the release bearing. Ugh.
Yeah.
Yeah, we tested the pilot bearing and it felt a little dry. So that's why they supply you, or you get a new one installed at this stage.
Bearing feels really nice. There's no rumble. It feels like it's brand new.
Wow,
I'm almost tempted to put it back.
you have a new one.
Yeah, sometimes a new one will give up before.
He's got 7,000, almost 8,000 hours on there, so.
We have to make sure that this grease fitting is facing the bottom when it's installed so that we can access,
There's a plate.
grease it through the access hole in the bottom of the bell housing. If you put it upward,
You're gonna have a tough time.
yeah, you might not be able to reach it.
Okay, here's the tachometer, and it does work. Okay. 7,945 hours, almost 8,000 hours. There's the new release bearing.
So we're going to put that, drop it into the vise, put something on there and bump it out.
There we go. Got it. Good.
Okay. New bearing. Okay. Very good.
Okay,
Okay, the bearing facing the front of the tractor.
and the grease fitting up.
Yeah.
Perfect. Where are you? Okay, it came off easy.
Okay, both sides engaged or?
I'm just, not quite. Let me slide back. I'm gonna feel something here. Sticky, but not bad, good. Yeah. Oh, there we go. What the heck? There. Just got it. There, okay, we're in. I think we're in. Okay, give it some, where's the light? Move it back and forth. I want to check the motion. Nice. Okay, we're good. Ooh, too far. Okay.
So, the yoke here has to be readjusted.
Oh yeah.
What Nick has done is he's engaged the yoke down inside the bell housing, and once it's engaged, this is your clutch action here. That's what moves that release bearing back and forth. It's connected to the clutch pedal right there. So now that we have a new clutch in there, this yoke has to be readjusted so that when you press down on the pedal, you have almost an inch slack or play before it engages the release bearing and touches the pressure plate. So you cannot have it tight. It's got to have a bit of play there. So that's the adjustment. That's where it's adjusted right there. So you loosen off that lock nut and then reset the length of that rod to match your new clutch.
So the grease fitting is in the right direction, down towards the bottom to the access plate.
Okay, yeah.
We have our clutch here, FW towards the flywheel, and we have our alignment tool.
You won't need that just yet.
Getting it ready. Yeah.
Just set that inside the flywheel.
Yep, we're good.
Okay, now I'm going to pass, do you have the bolts for
Yep.
the pressure plate?
They're on the tunnel.
Okay, I'm going to pass you the pressure plate.
Now I want to see if I can align these bolts a little bit.
Okay,
Just hold that for a second.
yeah, I got it.
There's one there and one there. So I'm going to kind of fish this.
Once you get it in there, might have to pry it apart a little bit, eh?
Yeah, the tractor's got to move apart. Okay, let me take the clutch out. I think it's slid together. Oh, what I can do is put this here, put this up inside, rest it on here, like that.
Yes.
Now it'll be easier. You know, as you work with something, you know, we've never done this before, so it's a bit of a learning curve. And as you work with it, you find ways, if you pay attention, to get stuff done. Now I gotta feel the holes are. There's one there and one there, so about 11 o'clock. Rotate the pressure plate. Okay, in it goes. Okay. A lot of grunting and groaning. I'll throw some music in over top of that. Where are you? Okay, that's one.
All you're going to do is just start the bolts all the way around.
The 35 pounds for these little guys?
35 pounds.
Okay.
But you're not going to do that just yet.
Okay, you can let go.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm going to jump on your side and get the last two in from that side. I just want to bring it in tight enough that the clutch doesn't fall out. And that's snug. Now we can't reef this up just yet because, as my dad mentioned, we need to align that clutch, center it with the pilot bearing. So we slide the two units together, the front half and rear half together. We don't have a misalignment issue.
You still might have to play with it.
Yeah, rotate.
Because your spline might not align with the spline on the clutch.
Okay, we're close.
There's actually a spline on the pressure plate too.
There is, yeah.
So like there's a double spline there. And they each have to align before they can spline.
That rhymes.
A lion is blind?
That rhymes. Don't start rapping. 2 more bolts. Give you guys a chance to look inside while I go on the other side. Ooh, this side's even tighter. Nope. Nope, can't get in that way, can't get in that way. You're gonna have to roll it over for me.
All right, it's easier for me to roll it towards you.
As it turns out, we can't get to the ones on the other side, so we're gonna roll the engine over. Just using the fan. A little more, if you can. Right, I can reach that.
I'm up against compression.
Yep, I can reach that. Oh, stop. You don't want to cross thread these bolts. Or maybe you do, so that you can get all the threads. Lining tool. Oop. Sorry, guys.
I hope it works in there. You might, I know it's not,
It's pretty tight.
you might have to go in just with the socket.
Yeah.
You have to be able to retrieve that thing.
I think I'm in. It's aligned.
Okay. What do you need?
I got a ratchet here. I'm going to have to do it up to 35. Can you give me the 3/8 torque wrench, please? There's one in the drawer.
Torque wrench.
Yeah. It's, oh, go to the next drawer over. Now we're going to go and torque the pressure plate bolts. And then, well, you guys can stand back and watch us push this back together. Where's my socket? You guys see where my socket went to? Got it, right behind me. All right, guys, so we've got the clutch, pressure plate, flywheel all installed. Not necessarily in that order. And release bearing is greased, all set to go. We've got everything plumbed up here. We have to kind of shuffle the front end over to get things to align properly. Dad's working on the fittings on the other side. They have to be pulled back out of the way so they don't interfere when we go ahead and slide the front section back into, well, that right there. We need to move it that way.
Yeah.
So you see how tight things are in here. So as we slide it together, we're gonna have to be pulling those lines back, making sure everything fits, because these lines actually tuck in behind to where that plywood is there.
Cool. Making sure all my lines are clear here.
Okay?
I have to get past that shoulder.
Oh, yeah, it's loose. Okay.
Oh, I see it.
What's that?
Come here. There's your alignment of the bolt and the hole.
Oh, okay. We got to go. It's rotated. The engine's rotated over. Yeah, go up. 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 Oh. Up a little more. Okay.
Okay, I'm going to turn it over.
Yeah.
Just jump in one step.
We got to go up, I think, with the engine.
Okay.
Just a little bit. Oh, bingo.
Looks like she's together.
Okay, not sure if you guys saw that last little pop at the end. but she has slid together. Oh, there we go. So behind those wires there, you see the bell housing. The gap is now tight. Right in there. So we are together all the way around. We have to slide onto some dowel pegs in behind there. So right there. We're good. Yes, the last little pop that you guys saw were the dowels sliding into each other, into the bell housing there. So now we have the bolts to do up, and she's going to be together. So between the come along, that thing there, pulling the front towards the back, and us wobbling and rotating the engine over, that helped us align those two spline shafts inside. So right there, you can see next to the tower, to the right of the tower, the gap between for the bell housing. And we'll go ahead now and bolt the two sections together. You want to rotate the engine over and see if everything feels good?
Could do. She's turning.
Good. So, yeah, I can feel it. Stop, stop, stop.
Okay.
She's in gear.
Oh.
You don't want to move it. That's a good sign. So here's our bell housing, front half, back half, no more gap. I just grabbed the fan blade, turn the engine over, and since we're in gear and I was leaning against this wheel, we felt some motion, which is a good thing. So that means everything's aligned, connected, and like I said, we're ready to bolt everything back together. So we'll bring you guys in once all the lines connected, fire it up, and see if it actually does what it's supposed to do with the new clutch. All right, guys, moment of truth. Here you go.
Hey, your hair is all windblown.
So is yours.
I didn't expect that.
And neither did I. It's never felt this punchy in years.
It will settle in. It'll smooth out.
First time out of the shop, this thing feels great. So anyway, hope you guys enjoy this episode. Stay tuned for when we use this machine, when it's more together and has a loader on it to offload our trailer with our next project. Take care, guys.
Thank you.